Welcome to today's podcast. Today we have an interesting topic about the happenings that are recorded in the book of Genesis chapter 38 verse 8 and 10. God killed a man by the name of Onan who was given the responsibility of having children for his brother who had died, but instead he went in to the wife, enjoyed himself, but instead threw his seed down on the floor. So somebody was asking, is God against the family planning method of Coitus Interuptus? Well, quite an interesting conclusion or observation. Now, my take is this: God is not against that any family planning method that is good. What God is against is refusing to be your brother's keeper. In the book of Proverbs chapter 17 verse 17, the Bible informs us that a brother is born for adversity and a friend loves at all times. So understand that God creates brotherhood to protect each other and to be your keeper. Even the first story of two brothers in the Bible is that of Cain and Abel. And Cain, who was a murderer, told God that I am not my brother's keeper. He refused adamantly to be his brother's keeper, and because of that he began the lineage of the enemy of the devil, of murderers, called the lineage of Cain. So anytime you are a murderer, you get out of the purposes of God for your life. And understand, when you get out of the purposes of God for your life, then your life loses meaning and purpose. And the next thing, if someone who is not working for God, then he should not eat, meaning he should not live. And so God found it in his wisdom to kill him because he was not operating in his purpose. What sustains us on this earth is the purposes of God. You see, the story is also told of this gentleman who was called Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus was in the house, was near the rich man, but the rich man refused to be of help to him. And so God continued waiting for an opportunity for him to be a blessing. But when Lazarus died, then the purpose of the rich man did not exist anymore, and therefore he also died. So understand that anytime you're in a position of helping, you are supposed to help the less fortunate. You're supposed to stand in and be your brother's keeper and provider. You're not supposed to take advantage of the weak brother. You're supposed to stand in for him even when he is dead. You see the story of David and Bathsheba. David was a king. God had protected him from Saul, and instead of him also defending the kingdom, when the kings were supposed to go to war, he remained on the balcony enjoying himself, not defending the people, but he began to feast on somebody's wife who was bathing, began to feast on the scene. And what transpired next was him sleeping with the lady and even killing the man. Despite God loving David, the sin was so bad that God had to really make a judgment and make sure that the kingdom of Israel was divided, and David had to pay a heavy price because of that mistake that he did. So we are supposed to protect and provide for each other, not to take advantage of each other, because the purpose of your existing is to love your neighbor. It is not, we don't exist just for ourselves, we exist for each other, to protect each other, because we are of God, and God is love. God hates it when brethren don't dwell together in unity, when there's strife, when we are not standing in and protecting each other. Then God's heart is really saddened, and therefore he says that, behold how beautiful, how pleasant it is when brethren dwell together in unity, for there God commands a blessing. So this day, go and be your brother's keeper, and never take advantage of anybody who is in a place of disadvantage, because that is what is pleasing to the Lord. God bless you so much, and don't drop it on the floor.